strawberry class today. Today we're going to learn how to plant strawberries. We're going to do an overview of the type of varieties that we have, the soil preparation, the watering, the fertilization, rows, and then we have the sequoia. And sequoia is a very wide variety of multiple size strawberry. No, not sizes. They're very sweet and they're very adaptable to this area. We have the Quinault, which is your late. And then we have the Ozark Beauty, which is mostly used for your canning, your freezing, making jams and jellies. So those are the varieties that we have. And there's several different ways that you can plant. You can do in your garden, a raised bed or in your garden, or you can do them in a tier planter. You can do them in a graduated, like a fence like this, which I really like these. They'll hang down. You can do them in a hanging basket, which is nice because the strawberries will hang down and you can just pick them as you want them. So those are really a lot of different ways. Now you can also plant from seed. You can actually plant from the strawberry itself, but a plant for here, I would recommend plants because they're already somewhat established for this area. Some people say that you can't grow strawberries in Texas, but you absolutely can. You actually get a longer growing season and you get 2 growing seasons. So that's the beauty of growing strawberries. And I dare anyone or challenge anyone to find a strawberry better than the one that you can grow in your own garden. Basically you can't, because most of the strawberries you buy in a grocery store, you've got that little white ring or brown spots. Here you can pick them perfect at the ripest part of the season. Okay, now we're going to prepare our soil. You want a good compost soil or manure. This one particularly has manure in it. You can use fish emulsion in it, but you need some type of compost to plant them. And in a raised bed.
Can you speak up, Trish?
Oh, okay. In a raised bed, you're going to fill this with soil. Make sure it's weed-free. Need to save some soil for my planting. So, we're going to, now in the raised bed, you're going to want to plant them about 18 inches apart. And you only want to plant them to the soil level as the pot itself. You don't want to go any deeper than what is planted in the pot. So, we're going to put those in there. So we know what they are. We're throwing them. After you've got them planted, you're going to want to put some type of a fertilizer on them. They require a lot of, they're very high in, they need a lot of potassium. So very high in potassium. A general purpose would be a good one as long as your potassium is your highest. Another good thing that you want to do is take, after you've got them covered with the soil, you want to lay some straw, hence their name, straw around. You can use cloth. I like the cloth.
You're fine, sir. You're fine.
You can use black cloth. You can use dried leaves, grass clippings, anything to keep the strawberries up off of the soil so that they don't get rotted or mold.
Can you use pine needles?
Pardon me?
Can you use pine needles?
Pine noodle? I don't know about that. I haven't seen pine needles. Pine needles are kind of sappy, and I think they would attract more insects.
Yeah. I would think pine needles are very acidic too, and the straw is more neutral. So that might be a factor. I don't know.
Well, the strawberries are do like acidic soil. They'll like about a 5.5 to a 6.5 pH. And if you don't know what soil type you have, there are soil testers. We do not sell them here, but Home Depot and Lowe's sells them. If you don't know what your soil is, but in reading the soil, the pH tester, you want to make sure that your pH level is between the 5.5 and 6.5. If it's higher, you want to add a little bit of lime to bring that acidity down. Pardon me? Lime.
Which we sell.
Huh?
We sell garden lime.
Yes. And the green sand is a good thing too.
Mm-hmm.
That helps hold your moisture in, the green sand does. I've used that for my herbs and it works really well. One thing about the growing in a garden is, did you have something to add? Okay. So this is going to keep your strawberries up off the soil and keep them from rotting and getting moldy. The other thing with growing in a garden is you do have your little visitors. And so you have squirrels, you have birds. They're very susceptible to slugs and mealybugs. There's aphids, whiteflies. They're very susceptible. However, they can be treated. A good product that we sell that is organic is the Sluggo Pest. That is your biggest one, because what the slugs do is they open up an avenue for your other insects. So if you take care of the sluggos, the slugs, that'll help eliminate a lot of your other issues that you might have.
You put that into the soil?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. You can mix it in with the soil, or you can just, especially if you take one of these out of a pot, you might even see a little slug already in there. Just pull it out, get rid of it, and then put your in it. But they will attack your roots, your berries, and your leaves, and that just opens up everything else. So if you get rid of those, you're probably pretty good. There's something. Oh, the slugs are the ones that make a perfect round circle, and that's the hole that will open up for your other pests. A bird, however, they will make a jagged hole. They'll have little jagged edged holes, and in that case, there's several different ways that you can keep the birds off. One, of course, is the netting that we do have. And I have this jar of honey here, and you're probably wondering why. The honey is not for anything. It's the mason jar. When your berries begin to come out and start turning red, you're going to want to take your mason jar, and you can put it, it'll even act as like a little greenhouse effect too, which will help them ripen. And you'll want to put your berries inside of the jar and just leave it sit like that in your garden, and that will keep the birds away. Another good thing to do is you can paint little rocks before, like when they start to set bloom like this, you can paint rocks red and put them throughout your garden, and the birds will come for those rocks and peck at them and go, oh, darn it, those are hard. So by the time your real strawberries come on, they're just going to not even bother them, because they've already been deterred from the actual plant, and they don't know the difference between plant or the block. At least I haven't asked them what. So this is how you do your in your raised beds or in your garden. Another way to plant is in a tier. Now it's a little bit different, but most people only have like a backyard patio or apartment.
Do you need help?
Yes, I do. I am not afraid to ask for help. You only want to fill it halfway. Yeah, that's it. Now, you're going to only want to fill it like halfway. Show this to the camera. And then you're going to set this one down in there like this. Yep, I need half full again. In order to keep this straight, you can also put a dowel rod right down through the middle, and that'll help keep this stabilized.
It probably would be easier just to move it back down lower so that you don't have to raise the soil
Yeah.
that high and then just put it in there.
Too late
You
now.
probably do that, but you know, if you're doing it at home, yeah, that's probably the way I would have done it. Yeah. Okay. Now, when you plant it, it doesn't look like you have as much space as you would here, so it's pretty simple, and you will not hurt the plant at all. If you're going to take it, you're going to just kind of push it like that. And you will put it down in there like that, and you would do 3. Now, the first year that you get these planted, you do not want any runners forming because that's going to take away from the mother plant's growth. You want to get that mother plant fully established the first year. After the next year, you can cut the runners away from the mother plant and transplant them into another place. If you plant them too close to your mother plant, it will again crowd the mother plant out. By dividing that runner from the mother plant, you're taking, it's going to put more nutrients into the mother plant rather than its baby.
Is
So,
that for both planters and above ground beds?
yeah, you wouldn't want, now within a planter, they're going to start to grow down anyway. So you can just cut them away from the mother plant, and you can start, if there's already something growing at the bottom of the runner, you can go ahead and plant them in the soil. One thing with a bare root, that would be considered a bare root planting, which is what this is. This is a bare root planting. And a bare root, you want to make sure it gets planted all the way to the crown. So you want to get this down all the way to where the crown is. Otherwise, this is going to get very brittle and very dry and just it won't do anything. It might continue to grow, but you want to plant it all the way to the ground, which is right about there.
So what you're saying is that one's planted too high.
It's too high.
And I'm sorry, so the runner is, so there would be just I guess a branch or something growing.
Yeah,
out,
let me-
and then a little,
I think I have
little
one.
plant.
I thought I had one that had a runner on it. I saved it for that very reason. Do we have one with a runner on it?
But it would be forming another plant at the end.
It is.
that what
It's
you're
gonna
saying?
it's gonna
Okay.
grow out from the mother plant. It's gonna start a little teeny tiny growth on the end of it, and that you can use that as a new planting bare root basically.
So it's either a berry or a new growth for a new plant. Right? A berry.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We,
I just don't want to cut anything off that's supposed to be good.
No.
right?
You want to cut the berries off to eat them.
Yeah. Got it.
So, and then in your second tier, you're just going to want to do 2, and obviously you want to rotate them so that these will grow this way, this one's going to grow down this way.
I did not see one with a runner on it.
Oh, okay.
We got it. Yeah. So it's gonna form around the
It's going
plant.
to be a very thin little runner that's going to look kind of like this.
Got it. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
When you're putting in those different strawberries, do you want different types or they're all the same?
You would want to
across
do a different type, so that way you always have something blooming, something producing. So you'll want to do like do an early, a mid, and a late. Okay? And you also have your day neutrals. And day neutral means that they're gonna produce slower but steady.
Can
And-
you tell from the label which type these are?
Yes.
Does it say that on the label?
It'll tell you if it's a everbearing, a June bearing. Well, June bearing's first, everbearing, and day neutral.
Okay.
And those are your early, mids, and lates. Your earlies and your mids are going to require anywhere from 6 to 8 hours of sunlight. So when you are preparing where you put them, you want to make sure you've got them on a south-facing part, and you also want to make sure that it's going to get at least 6 hours of sunlight. 8 is perfect, but 6 you will produce strawberries. And then in your top one, you'll just plant the one. And again, you just want to plant them to the surface in which they came in the pot. If you plant them too deep, they'll rot. Okay. Now I'm all dirty. That's the key, right? We also have the garden planters. You can also plant in the fibers. That's really good. You can also put fiber down in the bottom of your raised bed as well. And that just keeps weeds away and helps more nutrients going to the plant. But yeah. Thank you. Watering. Watering is very important. They like to be moist, but not wet. So when you water, you want to make sure that you water around the plant, not on top. You don't want to get your leaves wet. You don't want to get your flowers or your berries wet. Because again, that'll cause some root rot. It can cause black spots on your leaves, which here we have a little bit of a sign of black spot. So I'm recommending treating this for black spot, and it needs fertilizer.
So early on you said there were 2 growing seasons, so
You can plant in the fall, or you can plant in the early spring, and like now.
How long will they last? Do you need to replant like every 2 years or?
Well, It depends on how you're using them, but strawberry plants do have a lifespan, and I would say anywhere from 3 to 5 years. You'll want, and you can use your runners or you can buy more plants. I do recommend the plants only because they're already established and you don't have to
You
fight.
don't have to baby them.
Yeah, you don't have to work it. And most of your plants that you buy at your big box, no one really knows where they've come from and if they're even suitable for Texas. The ones that we have at Marshall Brain are suitable for Texas growers.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Good job.